Good morning friends. Today we are going to discuss about the dielectric and capacitors in the electrostatic unit. First topic we can discuss today is dielectrics, second electric polarization, third capacitors and capacitance of the capacitor, fourth combination of capacitors in series and in parallel, and fifth capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor with and without dielectric medium between the plates, and then last topic energy stored in a capacitor. Let's see the next one, electrostatic shielding. I would like to tell about the electrostatic shielding before starting the session. And what I mean by shielding is that something is covered. Suppose say a empty vessel is there, a metal plate, like that you can think that is the cavity. Suppose it is better to understand that I will give you one example. When you are driving a car, that time the heavy rain and the storm thunder is coming, what will do, you will keep the car in the side and you will get in or get out from the car. It is better to be advised that instead of standing outside from the car, and better to keep inside the car, because when the lightning comes, the charges are will be interacted with the outside surface of the car only, because the inside one it is covered with that metal plate. So materials, that is why it is better to be sit inside the car than standing outside the car in case of the raining time. So that car is acting as a electrostatic shielding. So no electric field or no charge will be enclosed in the car. That is why there is no electric field and nothing effect will be happen. This is the application of the electrostatic shielding. Let's go through that topics. Consider a conductor with a cavity with no charges inside the cavity. The electric field inside the cavity is 0. Whatever be the charge on the conductor and the external field in which it might be placed, the electric field inside a charged spherical shell is 0. As I told you, there is no charge enclosed in the cavity, that is why the field is 0. See that in the figure it is given in the NCERT textbook, the electric field inside the cavity of a conductor is 0. All charges reside only on the outer surface of a conductor with cavity. There are no charges placed in the cavity, as I told you. And see the diagram, this is the electric field outside the surface, here also electric field outside the surface, here also electric field outside the surface. E means electrical field, the symbol given, and conducting body, and inside there is a potential is constant and the electric field is 0, charge density is 0 and potential is equal to V naught. So what is there inside that potential? That will be the potential of the electrostatic cavity. Let us see that if the conductor is charged or charges are induced on a neutral conductor by an external field, all the charges reside only on the outer surface of the conductor. Yes, it is quite happen that charges, if you are rubbing also, charges will be coming on the resides outside surface of the body. So that is why in this case here also the metal conductor, the cavity, especially cavity inside there is a empty space. In empty space there won't be any electrical charge will be there and no field will be existed. Whatever be the charge and field configuration outside, any cavity in a conductor remains shielded from outside electric influences. The field inside the cavity is always 0. This is known as electrostatic shielding. The effect can be made use of in protecting sensitive instrument from outside electrical influences, and some of the important characteristics of the conductor, let's see in the diagram. See the electric field inside the cavity 0, rho means charge density also 0, sigma is greater than 0, sigma is greater than 0, less than 0, and electric field will give you sigma by epsilon naught and n vector. that is toward electric field towards the direction outside, that is, and potential is called V naught. What is there inside the cavity, that will be called potential, and the electric field inside is 0, sigma is 0. Dielectric and polarization. I would like to tell about this dielectric. Dielectric means which do not pass current, or there is no free charges. And the polarization means there are some type of dielectrics are there. If you are passing the electric, you are keeping the dielectric in the electric field, or electric field is applied to the dielectric, the electrons and the positive charges are which is in random motion, and they will be oriented in the unified direction. So that is called the polarization. Even then we can go and see that what is meaning of polarization in elaborately. Dielectrics are non-conducting substances. They have no or negligible number of charge carriers. What happens when a conductor is placed in an external electric field? The free charge carriers move, and charge distribution in the conductor adjusts itself in such a way that the electric field due to induced charges opposes the external field within the conductor. So that will oppose, and after this cancelling each other effect, the charge will vanish, and a no charge will be existed, and net charge will be 0. That is why it is opposing the external electric field. This happens until in the static situation the two fields cancel each other, and the net electrostatic field in the conductor is 0. So these are the diagrammatic representation difference in behavior of conductor and dielectric in an external electric field. So that means if we are passing the electric field towards the conductor and the dielectric, what will happen? The electric field inside the conductor is what is inside, E naught, and E in, both will be added. So that total electric field inside the conductor will be E naught plus E inside, that is equal to 0, the algebraic sum. And in the case of dielectric, the electric field inside the cavity, inside the dielectric E naught, and inside En, then sigma p means the density in the positive side, and charge density in the negative side. So E naught is 0 in the outer surface, dielectric means. Next, there are two types of molecular substances. They are called polar and non-polar molecular substances. First, we can discuss about the non-polar. Non-polar means the positive and negative charges are coincide. In a non-polar molecules, the center of positive and negative charges coincide. That means both the positive and negative charge will be all together. You cannot find which is positive, which is negative. So like that is coinciding. The molecules molecule then has no permanent dipole moment. Actually, if the positive and negative charges coincide, there won't be any dipole, there won't be any dipole moment. Yes, naturally, if two charges are separated, opposite charges or the dissimilar charges, then it will have a dipole, and it will have a, that is called dipole, or this is dipole. So then we can see the next one, it should have dipole moment. So if the coincidence of the positive and negative charges should be separated to bring the dipole or dipole moment for the purpose of the system. The sum of the example of the non-polar molecules are oxygen, O2, and hydrogen, H2. Molecules which because of their symmetry they have no dipole moment. These are the example for the non-polar molecules. You can see in the diagram figure where H2 they are coinciding, touching. This experiment can be easily done. Suppose for taking, you might have seen my video doing that experiment with the balloon. When they are attracted, making contact, that you can consider they are coinciding. So if they are separated, generally it will have dipole moment. So that experiment you can remember and you can understand. And in this diagram you can see that plus or minus written the diagram that electric field inside is 0. And here when the electric field is applied, they are oriented, separated, the positive negative charge will have dipole moment, electric field will be existed. Polar molecules. In case of polar molecules, it is one in which the center of positive and negative charges are separated even when there is no external electric field. Such molecules have a permanent dipole moment. Example of polar molecules: hydrochlorine and molecules of water. You can see the diagram. This is electric field is 0 because they are all not in the unified or unidirection, they are in random motion, zigzag. But when you are applying, after applying that electric field, the electric field is not 0, then they will have a dipole moment. And the example for this polar molecules are HCl and H2O. Next, a dielectric develops a net dipole moment in an external electric field. Example, first one is non-polar molecules and the second one non-polar molecules. So this is called the atomic polarization. And you can understand what you mean by atomic polarization is that the separation of the non-polar molecules, that phenomenon is nothing but called polarized or atomic polarization. When an external electric field is applied, the individual dipole moment tend to align with the field. When summed over all the molecules, there is no net dipole moment in the direction of the external electric field. That is, the dielectric is polarized. When a polar and non-polar dielectric develops a net dipole moment in the presence of an external field, the dipole moment per unit volume is called polarization. At last, given the definition is that the dipole moment per unit volume, that is a polarization. Dipole, you can say what is equation for the dipole moment? P is equal to 2qa. 2a is the distance between the two charges and a is the separation of distance between them. Next we can see, for any linear isotropic dielectrics, the polarization P is equal to epsilon naught chi e into E, where chi e is the constant of proportionality or it is the susceptibility of the substance, and also it is a constant. The polarized dielectric is equivalent to two charged surfaces with the induced surface charge densities, say Sp, that is the surface charge density, and in case of negative charge, surface charge density minus Sp. Clearly the field produced by these surface charges opposes the electric field. See that electric field applied, all the positive negative charges are oriented. This is minus surface charge density in case of the positive. Here also the in case of positive, here minus. So in this diagram you can understand the polarization. A uniformly polarized dielectric amounts to induced surface charge density but no volume charge in the dielectrics. Total field in the dielectric is therefore reduced from the case when no dielectric is present. So suppose there is no dielectric in between the two charged bodies, then the electric field will be reduced. Let's see that in case of the dielectric slab is inside in between the two charged conductors or the plates. That is comes into the chapter capacitors and capacitance. We are going to study about what is the capacitance of the capacitor. See that a capacitor is a system of two conductors separated by an insulator. The conductors have charges say Q1 and Q2 and potential V1 and V2. In practice, the two conductors have charge Q and minus Q with potential difference V is equal to V1 minus V2 between them. Only this kind of charge configuration of a capacitor. Even a single conductor can be used as a capacitor by assuming that other is at infinity. See the diagram. Any to a spherical capacitor we can say, because the conductors are 1 and 2 are in the spherical shape. It is depending on the geometry of the conductors. The conductors may be so charged by connecting them to the two terminals of the battery. So how can we store the charge to the capacitor? Means passing the electric field. Where the electric field comes in the battery only, charging the battery from the battery to, if I connect with the material body, then charge will be flowing and deposited in the capacitor. Q is called the charge of the capacitor, though this in fact it is a charge on the one of the conductors. The total charge of the capacitor is 0. Next, capacitor. What do you mean by capacitor? When the two conductors are separated by a distance and possessing the voltage V1 and V2, the potential difference will be V1 minus V2 and the charges are plus Q and minus Q. A system of two conductors separated by an insulator forms a capacitor. Very simple definition only you could understand. Consequently, capital V is the proportional to Q. That means the potential difference between the two conductors is proportional to the Q, and the ratio Q by V is constant. You can say that the constant is C. That is called the capacitance of the capacitor. So C is equal to Q by V. As per the definition, capacitance of the capacitor is equal to charge by potential of the system. The constant is called the capacitance of the capacitor, and C is independent of Q and V as stated the above. It depends on the geometrical configuration, shape, size, separation of the system of the two conductors. And the unit of the capacitor is farad. 1 farad is called 1 coulomb per volume. And the picofarad is 10 to the power of minus 12. Nano means 10 to the power of minus 9. And micro means 10 to the power of minus 3 coulombs. Let's go to the parallel capacitors. So this is the typical diagram for the parallel plate capacitors. So in that one, the surface charge density, there are two parallel capacitors they are in the rectangular shape. So we can say that parallel plate that is kept in parallel to each other. So your the charge carriers, first one is positive and second one will be negative. So both are separated by distance d, and the electric field is applied towards top to bottom or down to the downwards. And the charge surface charge is minus Q in the case of negative charge body, and plus sigma surface charge density in the positive side. And the K is the area of the plate, and one is the first region, second region. So first and second region, you can understand, is there any field is there? No. Therefore the total electric field in the outside the plate will be 0. Let's see what will happen. A parallel plate capacitor consists of two large plane parallel conducting plates separated by a small distance. Let A be the area of the each plate and the small d be the separation between them. The two charge plates have the charges plus Q and minus Q. Plate 1 has the surface charge density Q by A. Normally surface density means charge by area. And the plate 2 has the surface charge densities minus S. S means surface. Electric field is different in the region. Let's see, in region 1 and 2, outer surface, the electric field will be, as we get derived the equation for electric field in case of the plain thin sheet. In that we can get the equation sigma by 2 epsilon naught for the one outer region. Second region, sigma by epsilon naught, because minus. So both added it will become 0. That means the electric field is 0 in the outer surface of the body. That is region. So in the second region also the same thing happens. E sigma by 2 epsilon naught minus sigma by 2 epsilon naught, that is equal to 0. Therefore the electric field outside both region 1 and 2 will become 0. Then in the inner region, between the field due to the two charged bodies or two charged plates. So on total electric field in the inside will be sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught, that is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Now for uniform electric field, potential difference is simply the electric field times the distance between the plates, that is, see the same diagram only, you can understand, and the potential is nothing but electric field in this into the product of electric field and the separation of distance between the two plates. That is nothing but, so substitute the equation for the electric field, it is Q by epsilon naught A, so into D. So this is the equation for the potential difference between the two plates of the capacitor. So the capacitance of the capacitor, normally the ordinary equation C is equal to Q by V. Substitute the equation C is equal to Q by V, then V is equal to QD upper epsilon naught A. So QQ cancel, remaining will be getting epsilon naught A by D, which as expected depends only on the geometrical of the system. Typically values like J is equal to 1 meter square, that the area of the plate is 1 meter square and distance is 1 millimeter. We get the equation C is equal to 8.85 and substitute the equation epsilon naught A by D, then 8.85 into 10 power minus 9 answer is coming. For the F is stands for farad. And in case of the another one example, if there are two big unit practices, then capacitors will be 1 farad when it is a 1 meter distance and 1 meter separation of distance and area is 1 meter square. Effect of dielectric capacitance. What will happen? The dielectric is kept in between the two plates of the capacitor. When there is a vacuum between the plates, then naturally electric field will be sigma by epsilon naught, and the potential difference V naught is V naught equal to epsilon naught into D. The capacitance C naught in this case, already we have did this one, epsilon naught A by D. If the dielectric inserted between the two plates fully occupying the intervening region, the effect is equivalent to the two charged sheet at the surface of the dielectric normal to the field, which the surface charge entries Sp and S. Actually it is rho only, dense surface charge density. The electric field in the dielectric then correspond to the case when the net surface charge densities on the plates are plus or minus S minus Sp. That is, electric field is sigma minus sigma p, that is inside the electric field in the plates and the in vacuum, sigma minus sigma p divided by epsilon naught. So that the potential difference across the plate also will be B is equal to electric field at distance, that is equal to substitute the value for the E, sigma minus sigma p divided by epsilon naught into D. For linear dielectrics we expect surface charge density to proportional to epsilon naught, that is to S. The surface charge density difference is proportional to the surface, and sigma minus sigma p is written as sigma by k. where K is called constant of proportionality, or K is called constant characteristics of the dielectric or dielectric constant. Clearly we can say K is greater than 1 when we then have potential is equal to sigma d by epsilon naught K, where sigma is equal to Q by A, and we know that the epsilon naught, what is this one? The first one you can see that the capacitance or the capacitor is, in the case of the air, is epsilon naught A by D. So epsilon naught A by D is here. So we can simplify the equation. The capacitance C with the dielectric between the plates is C is equal to Q by V. Substitute epsilon naught K A by D, and epsilon naught A by D is nothing but the C naught, capacitance or capacitance in the vacuum. So it will be C naught into K. K is equal to C by epsilon naught, the permittivity of the free space, and K is equal to epsilon divided by epsilon naught. Epsilon means a medium divided by vacuum. If it is in case of electric field, same equation will come. Simply the concept can be in case of capacitor, capacitor in the medium and a capacitor in the vacuum, divided by ratio of that. Then dielectric constant, let's the combination of capacitors. There are two type of combination of capacitors, series and parallel, just like you are going to study about, or you have studied in the 10th standard, the resistors on a series and parallel, the same thing only, but here there is a opposite nature of the capacitor here than the resistors, what you have studied in the 10th standard. See that three capacitors are connected in series manner, and the potential everywhere, if you take, there will be individual potential across the each capacitor. So that total potential will be added in each one. We know that by equation of capacitance C is equal to Q by V, therefore V is equal to Q by C. So Q by C1 plus C2, two capacitors, and that V by Q is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2, and V by Q is nothing but 1 by C. So therefore the effective capacitance C is equal to Q by V, and you will be getting 1 by C is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2, because the charges are equal, they are cancelled on both the sides. Then the reciprocal of the capacitor and the capacitor is equal to the sum of the reciprocal of the capacitor in the individual. Then this is a diagram for the number of capacitors added, and you can put nothing but only just like superposition principle, V is equal to V1 plus V2 etc. Vn, and that is equal to Q by C1. Q is common, that will be cancelled, 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by Cn etc. will be coming. The next capacitors in parallel. See, when the capacitors in series parallel, then wherever you take, the potential difference will be same, and here the charge will be separated, that is Q1 C1V and Q2 C2V, the potential will be same. The equivalent capacitor is one which the charges Q is equal to added, the charges are additive nature, and substitute the potential Q is equal to CV, C is C1, V is common, C1 plus V plus C2 V, and we are taking the common term, V is cancelled, and the total capacitance is equal to C1 plus C2 plus for the two capacitors. The effective capacitance or the total capacitance of the parallel connection are C1 plus C2. In general, if it is number of capacitors in parallel, in general equation C is equal to C1 plus C2 plus etc. up to Cn. This is easy to understand. And the energy stored in the capacitor. Actually, what is the purpose of the capacitor? So capacitor is an device which can store the charge for some time. For taking the capacitor and giving the LED connection, the capacitor will glow because the charge is moving from the battery to the LED, and that time the charges are discharging. And if you are recharging the capacitor, take one battery and connect that terminal with the positive and it will get charged. So this is the purpose of the capacitor is there to store the charge just like a battery. To determine the energy stored in this configuration, energy is here nothing but the work done to store the charge is nothing but called energy. To determine the energy stored in this configuration, consider initially two uncharged conductors 1 and 2, and here you can see that positive negative charge is sigma, that is small charges charging. If you want to get the large charge, you can take the integration formula and you can find the total charge in the system, that is energy stored in the capacitor. Imagine next a process of transferring charge from conductor 2 to 1 bit by bit, so that at the end the conductor 1 gets charged large amount Q. By charge conservation, conductors 2 has charge minus Q of the end. In transferring positive charges from the conductor 2 to the conductor 1, work will be done externally, since at any stage conductor 1 is at a higher potential than conductor 2. Therefore, the total work done will be the del W is equal to V naught into the, that is potential into the charge. Work done is equal to potential into charge. Potential to work done by charge. So the replace the equation Q dash, that is change in the charge, Q dash by C into del Q. That is small charge only. These are in the small work done and small amount of charge. For the large entire system, we have to take integration. So the del work done will be 1 by 2C, because substitute the value for this 1 by 2C into Q dash plus del Q dash the whole square. This is by using the equation of binomial theorem. Let's go for the integration. The work done will be summation sum over all the steps of del omega. But in the case of integration, the same result can be obtained directly. Work done is equal to integration of the charge is charged from 0 to Q, limits 0 to Q, Q dash by C into del Q, and substitute the equation of the integration, you will be getting Q square by 2. Therefore, 1 by C, Q square by 2, the limit 0 to 2, then 0 will be cancelled, Q square by 2C will be coming. This is the nothing. The work done is converted into energy stored in the capacitor. And we can write the final result. Work done is equal to Q square by 2C, that is 1 by 2 CV square. Q is equal to CV, that is CV square. The 1C is cancelled. C square, V square, 1 cancelled, it has come. The 1 by 2 into QV. And this is the same diagram what we have seen in the previous one. And the energy stored in the capacitor, 1 by 2 Q square by C, that is equal to A sigma, because we know that charge density Q by A, then charge will be A into the A area, and the sigma is the charge density, square divided by 2 into D by epsilon naught A. We know that one formula can be added, A by D is nothing but volume, area and volume. The surface charge density sigma is related to the electric field E, the plate, then the electric field is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Energy stored in the capacitor is equal to U is equal to half epsilon naught E square into AD, but AD is nothing but volume. So we can say that AD is a volume of the region between the plates where electric field alone exists. If we define energy density as the energy stored per unit volume of the space, the energy density of the electric field will be U is equal to 1 half into epsilon naught E square. This is the final equation for the energy stored in the capacitor in case of the energy density. Then summary, what we have seen that you can go through. Just I am keeping this one. We have discussed about what is that capacitors, series and parallel, dielectrics. Capacitors in a system are two conductors separated by insulator. Capacitance are the capacitor for the two conductors, and potential difference and the capacitance are capacitors and shape, size, and parallel capacitors in vacuum between the plates. And if the medium between the plates of the parallel plates of the capacitor filled with the insulating substance, that is dielectric A, non-dielectric. So altogether we have discussed the total electric field will be C is equal to K into C naught by K is equal to C by C naught. This is not O, this is will come as small. For capacitors in this series combination, C is equal to 1 by C1 is equal to 1 by C1 plus C2. In parallel, C1 plus C2 plus C3, etc. The energy U stored in the capacitors of the capacitant, that also we have discussed. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this seeing that PPT version of study. If any query have, then you can write to me that ratinakanaka@gmail.com, and Ratnakumar, PGT Physics Training Associate, JTIT Bhubaneswar. Once again, I am thank you and for your further study. Thanks for watching. Thank you.